Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think he could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the all-electric Prologue SUV, there's a lot that can impress you about it. There's the generous passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
At Sierra, discover top workout gear at incredible prices, which might lead to another discovery. Your headphones haven't been connected this whole time. Awkward. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
Savor every last drop of summer with Starbucks. From bold refreshers to rich cold brews, the sunniest season only gets better with a handcrafted iced beverage in your hand. Available for a limited time. Your summer favorites are ready at Starbucks.
After Zoomies at the dog park, it's time for Drive Up at Target. In goes a big bag of kibble and one squeaky chicken toy for the good boy. Drive Up that's ready when you are, only in the Target app. Just tap Target.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
I loved this tweet last night from Ryan Clark because, the people who have been with the Panthers for 30 years are going to experience last night the deepest and most emotionally. But a whole lot of people were gathered around the television last night just because Maximum Sports was happening. And so Ryan Clark got into the fray, and I love the way that he did when he tweeted, who stepped up tonight in a big way. Big friggin' Dave Bobrovsky.
Oh, no. That's okay. I mean,
It is okay. It's totally allowed. Everybody's welcome here if you want to be a part of the party. It's just Bobrovsky is not from a place where I don't think we call people Dave.
Is it possible that Sergey was autocorrected on his phone to Dave?
We don't even call him by his first name. We call him Bob.
That is correct. But his first name is not Dave. That is incorrect. It is not Dave Bobrovsky.
Sergey Bobrovsky.
He was there, by the way.
He was there.
You're
And
saying,
so was Stephen A. Smith, by the way.
was he really?
Yeah.
Yes, he was in attendance.
So you're saying there's not a lot of Daves in Russia?
I'm just guessing that wherever it is Bobrovsky's from, not a whole lot of people are answering to Dave.
Sergey Bobrovsky.
That's so good.
Charles knows his name now, though. Charles continues to show up at hockey events, and right now, the greatest thing that has happened locally since blank. Since blank. Are we looking at 10 years it's been since this feeling was here? Are we looking at Ray Allen's shot as the last time that any of this felt like this locally, where Maximum Sports gives you the joy ride of people don't like this team, they're annoying, I like this team, people don't think it's interesting, don't like the storylines, haven't fallen in love with the characters, but I like the characters, they're gritty, they're tough, I like their story. It's me against the United States and North America. When I say that, I'm saying you're a fan of this team. It's you against everybody. And then as it grows, you go from up 3-0 to terrified. And while terrified, all you're hearing for 3 games is, oh, my God, this is McDavid's crowning. Here it comes. And it's what everybody wants. and you deny them it. And at the end, the Oilers are too tired to go get it. They're too exhausted. They looked like they were in sludge. It looked to me like that team, so very fast, so very terrifying. They looked like the ice had melted under their feet because they were not moving fast at the end.
In fairness to Ryan Clark, Dave is a very popular name in Russia. I mean,
David.
Always in the top 20. Yeah.
It's almost like it was a mistake that Knoblauch played his top guys so much in, say, the first half of the third period, as opposed to really saving for an onslaught the final 5 or 6 minutes, because they had the puck the whole third period, you know? And if those guys had more energy, and I'm also stunned that they didn't pull Skinner until like a minute 20.
Way too late.
Terrible job. Game 7.
But that's the Panthers' identity. We've said that aloud a bunch of times. Like, why isn't this goalie coming out? And it's because the Panthers are still occupying that neutral zone, and you can't guarantee that there's going to be zone entry
Edmonton had
from
full control
Edmonton.
with like 2:20 left in the Panthers zone.
They in the neutral zone, though, like they didn't get a rush going, and you have to hedge against like a breakaway going the other way. I understand why you didn't pull him. I think you should have pulled him. There was a moment. There was
Obviously
a stoppage.
now.
Yeah, there was a stoppage in play where you should have absolutely pulled him.
It was a timeout. They got no rest from their timeout. They didn't come out of the timeout with anything.
Yeah.
Roy, you are still here, even though the cup is at the elbow room and players are surrounding the cup at the elbow room. I'm assuming you're still here because all of Meadowlark's resources are being poured into the Greg Cote victory lap.
That is correct, sir.
Okay, so will you be leaving shortly? Because
you can Zoom.
I will say again, I'm going to say this.
Kachuk has the cup on a golf cart right now. He's driving around Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, I would like to be there with him. And Roy, we have spent a lot of money and a lot of time with you over the last few days. You flew Fort Lauderdale to Houston to Denver to Edmonton, 16 hours. You flew Toronto to Montreal to Miami, 13 hours. You flew Miami to Chicago to Calgary, then drove to Edmonton for 11 hours. And you flew Calgary to Charlotte to Miami for 11 hours. And while you did all of that, you saw your team outscored 13-2. You did all of that to watch the Panthers allow 13 goals and score 2 goals. Now, you got the cup 30 minutes away. You don't have to go anywhere to go see your team outscored 13-2. It's just 30 minutes away. I think you should go get to wherever the cup is and give us live reports from the cup.
Yeah, I could probably Zoom from here. Can I? Yeah. Okay, I'll see you guys later.
All right. Go get the cup.
Tell Matthew I say hi.
Yeah.
Greg Cote might need to be on Zoom, too, because our live view just died.
Okay, that's good.
They didn't charge it?
No, there were some problems charging a battery of some sort. That's why Greg Cote was just standing in the other room.
It was a
while
great
he
shot, though.
Supposed to be, in the victory lap.
Not a lot of podcasts that are live can pull that off.
I'm glad Stugotz is laughing at
sorry.
that. So our batteries have run out. We can't get to the cup.
You got the aerial view.
Yeah.
My batteries died, and I'm here.
Billy, did you get outside? Were there people in your neighborhood banging pots and pans?
Yeah, I went to La Carreta, obviously. What else am I going to do? I went there. I took a little cazuela, a wooden spoon, and I stood on the side of the road, and I banged it as cars passed by. Some USA chants. That might have been about something else. There was a guy driving. He was shooting fireworks out of the side of his car as he was driving, one hand on the steering wheel, the other side on a Roman candle, just shooting. I learned that police are really just, I guess, trying to prevent rioting or, violence, and all other laws go out the window. So, you could put 80 people in the back of a pickup truck, and that doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. Run, jaywalk, whatever you want to do, you can do as long as you're not, I guess, doing damage to property or others.
But were they fearing some sort of rioting on Calle Ocho? Because I don't believe that the police officers would be that interested in stopping much of anything there, because I don't think there was a lot happening there.
Well, no, there was a lot happening. I was on Bird Road. There was a large police presence just making sure everybody was staying safe. They also blocked off some, shopping centers so you wouldn't park there. But everybody was having a good time. It was a nice, safe, good time. Lots of pots and pans and banging and screaming about how much we all love the Panthers on Bird Road, as you know. And that was it. We were celebrating. People shooting fireworks. There were some dogs there. It's a nice night.
That was
nice little night.
That moment was captured by PLG, and it was on the screens. And I was around some Panther bigwigs, and I pointed to the screen. I'm like, I can't believe they are celebrating a Stanley Cup championship in Westchester.
To be honest with you, I was surprised too. As I was driving over there, we were trying to figure out the route we were going to take, and I go, well, at least it's the most popular team or the least popular team in town. It shouldn't be that bad in terms of traffic. There was a nice crowd, though. I was surprised by the crowd. It wasn't a heat crowd. It was not.
How many
crowd.
people? Like, we talking hundreds?
Well,
thousands?
so I
Not
compare
hundreds.
it to the people
No.
at the
Not
Cody
even
Parade.
Dozens.
At the Cody Parade, yeah,
Dozens. It's not going to be
No,
hundreds
it
or
was in the
Well, the
hundreds.
Cup, I
It was in
mean-
the hundreds, and I will say this. I also left early. Like, I went, I checked in, I was there for, 30, 45 minutes, and then I left because my family stayed at home. Me and my wife had a discussion earlier in the night where I said, if we win, I'm gonna wake up the 3-year-old and we're gonna go celebrate because I don't know when we're gonna do this again. And she said, okay, yeah, we had that conversation. And then 11:30 or so came with about a minute and a half left, and then I went into the room to wake up said 3-year-old, and she said, you're not waking up this 3-year-old. What is wrong with you? She's gonna be scared. You're waking her up in the middle of the night, taking her out of her slumber. Then you take her to loud noises. People are banging on pots and pans. She has no idea what's going on. She doesn't know this tradition of this town. People are gonna be screaming. There's gonna be dogs barking, fireworks. They're just gonna be on the side of the road. Like, this is gonna be very traumatic.
You really married the perfect woman.
I said, yeah, like probably, but also I don't know when this is going to happen again. And then we started going over, and she didn't like this because this was like at 12:30 when I got home. I started listening. I go, let me tell you a story. 1997, the Marlins, they celebrated at La Carreta. Before that, it was like 1973 or 1974 before there was a championship celebration. Now, if we fast forward, sure, we go to 2003, there was another championship celebration, and then we didn't have one until 2006. And then we had to wait until, 2012, and then 2013, and now we have to wait until 2024. And when I'm saying it out loud, it sounds like a very charmed life. Because to be honest with you, in a span of, 30 years, we've had 6 or 7 of these championship celebrations, and I was completely discrediting my argument of this could be another 30. I said, look, if we're just waiting on the Panthers, we waited, 30, 31 years for this? At this pace, my daughter might be 34 years old when they do this again. And she's going to experience 34 years of her life without celebrating this if I don't take her tonight. That argument didn't work. I went by myself.
Did all of this take that long? I mean,
it took longer. It took longer. She's like, can we go to sleep? It's 12:30 because she was asleep when I got home.
Oh, I see.
And it took longer. But I was trying to list all these things of all these championships that we've had and how much time there's in between.
Mm-hmm.
That was a long story.
Yeah.
It's the only kind he tells.
It was a short one for me. I tried to speed it up for you guys.
You forgot about the Leagues Cup.
La Carreta is a place where the best of the celebrations has to be the 97 Marlins celebration because it was Levon
Well,
Hernandez
when Fidel died the first time.
shouting, thank you, Billy, yes, but I was talking about the ones that you mentioned. Your story didn't include Fidel. For as long as it was, there was no first time that Fidel died.
But he's right?
No, he's not right.
Okay.
He's just long-winded.
Right.
1997, Levon Hernandez is shouting in an accent, I love you, Miami.
I love you, Miami.
And so he was speaking the language of Calle Ocho. The Heat Championships got a bunch of people out there. I'm stunned to hear that you stumbled out of your house, could find no one in the surrounding areas to celebrate this with you, and so you stumbled over to La Carreta with a daughter at 12:30.
No, I wasn't allowed to take my daughter.
But you were trying to. This is a very you allowed at the house. When's the last time you left the house by yourself after midnight? You are very maximum dad. You are not.
Well, nothing good happens after midnight. My grandmother taught me that, so I try not to, if at all possible. And I left there around like 12:25, 12:30, and I'll tell you this: the streets were packed. Like when I was there was 5-6 blocks of traffic that was at a standstill, and it was getting pretty packed when I was leaving. I got out of there before things started getting maximum crazy.
Do we feel good about the attendance for whatever the parade's going to be?
Good compared to what? Not good if you're comparing it to the Celtics.
Well,
No,
weekends.
compared to not being embarrassing that it's a hockey team in South Florida that won the Stanley Cup.
I think the parade might be a little embarrassing if your comparison point is are Americans going to make fun of how small that parade looks?
Right, that's what I'm wondering.
How it should look if it were in Edmonton.
They're doing it on a weekend. At least that's what I'm being told. That's what's being reported right now. Like, I don't like that on a Sunday. Like, don't give me a parade on a Saturday or Sunday. Thursday, Wednesday, Friday.
But Saturday or Sunday, you can get people out who aren't working.
That's the way you got to do it.
They want their Saturdays to themselves.
All
man.
6 of us will be there. All 6 of us will be there. I'm not going to parse what our parade route is going to look like. I don't give a shit.
I've mentioned it before on the show, but guys, I don't really get enough sleep generally. And so when I do get sleep, I want to make sure I'm getting great sleep. And do you ever, like me, wake up tired and think, maybe it's not me, maybe it's the bed? yeah, it probably is the bed. That's why there's the Sleep Number Smart Bed, the bed that learns you. It adjusts to your movements, supports your body, and lets you pick the firmness on each side. No arguments, no flipping a coin, no sleeping on the edge of the bed like you lost a challenge on Survivor. Sleep Number's been working with the NFL since 2018. 80% of NFL players sleep on one of these beds. If it's good enough for a 300-pound lineman trying to recover from Sunday, it's probably good enough for your weird shoulder cramp from scrolling in bed for 3 hours. Why choose a Sleep Number Smart Bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. The only bed that lets you make each side firmer or softer whenever you like, your Sleep Number setting. And now, it's the Sleep Number 4th of July sale. Save over $600 on the Sleep Number P5 King Smart Bed, the lowest price of the season, limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
Look, as a small business, we don't get to clock out, ever. We're always on, nights, weekends, holidays. So, when it came time to hire someone, we couldn't waste time. We needed help. Real help. Not Stugotz knows a guy help. We used LinkedIn Jobs. And we'll be honest, we didn't expect it to be that easy. We posted the job for free. LinkedIn basically held our hand and wrote the description for us. Next thing you know, candidates, qualified ones, not resumes written in crayon, real people who want to work. Imagine that. LinkedIn gives you all the tools, deep insights, easy filtering, one place to manage everything. We even threw the little hashtag hiring frame on our profile picture, doubled the number of applicants. Now we're part of that 72% of small businesses that say LinkedIn helps them find high-quality candidates. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/DLS. That's linkedin.com/DLS to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Don Batard.
You have some hot takes today. Joe Chestnut's a fraud.
He's on fire.
He called Connor McDavid overrated before the show.
What the hell was that, Greg?
Yeah, no, I
love it.
Stugotz.
Roy, let me explain it to you. And not that you know more about hockey.
And this
than
is
I do.
coming from a guy that's watched Connor play 6 times.
Right.
If that.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
People are asking how they celebrate this with the team.
There's a crowd
The elbow
gathering.
room is the place to celebrate.
We have a reporter out there, and he sent us in a video. If you guys want to put up the video of the elbow room, Kachuk's out there. It looks like a doozy of a time.
All right. Yes, the elbow room is.
Look, at least 6 of us.
Yes, look at that. Look at the festivities there. Monster event there. The cup is there. There are dozens of people there in the morning. I do think that Stugotz, when he says put it on a weekday, he's got it all wrong. You put it on a weekday, South Floridians have to work, you will get no one at that parade. There will be no one there on a weekday. Weekend is your only chance to get a crowd that feels like a giant championship celebration.
They almost have to do it on Sunday because there's so many. The hockey calendar's so weird. There's so much off-season stuff that needs to be done in like the next 72 hours, and there's a draft over the weekend. So I don't think they can actually celebrate with their entire staff until the draft is over on Saturday. That's why they're reportedly landing on that Sunday.
So the guy that's the keeper of the cup, the guy with the gloves, he follows the cup all the time.
The guy with the 80s haircut.
Yeah, he follows the cup all the time. So he hasn't been to bed. He's got to go with them to elbow room, and it's like, can we go to sleep already? Like, he just has to stay.
That's his job.
With all the partying.
Yes.
He's so tired right now, but he's at elbow room.
I was thinking, in all of sports, that has to be the greatest job title. Keeper of the Cup. What a great job title. I mean, it's amazing.
I feel like just you get to a point where it's like, all right, have we had enough to drink, the last 24 hours?
He's a big celebrity. I saw him around the lower bowl, and so he was getting pulled aside, people yelling, Phil. He took 1,000,000 photos.
Yeah. They have 2 or 3 guys who do that. He doesn't have to be with the cup all the time.
okay.
Otherwise, he would never sleep.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
No, he does. There's multiple cups.
They have multiple cups.
There-
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
There are multiple cups with multiple people guarding multiple cups.
We're new to hockey down here. But anyway, Dan, imagine if someone says to you, hey, what do you do for a living? And you pull out a business card and it says Keeper of the Cup.
It's pretty good.
I mean,
Did you guys see the piece right before? You guys are at the game, obviously you didn't see it, but did you see the piece before where he was talking about they did a whole thing about throwing off the gloves and they show all the teams throwing off
So
gloves.
cool.
And then they show Phil, and Phil keeps all of his gloves. I guess he gets one set of gloves every year. Then he like lays them out, and he's like, "There's so much history." And I'm like, "Oh, those are dirty gloves. Like, let's be real. Come on, they're probably stinky."
It's true, dirty.
Bit of a hoarder,
gloves.
Phil.
I mean, a lot of history is dirty and
Phil
stinky.
collects hair, right?
Phil, he collects hair.
Potentially,
he's a hoarder. I guess you would have some expertise spotting hoarders, being among them.
What is that supposed to mean? I don't collect hair. For the record, I don't collect hair.
I mean, you
let the record show.
Can we go through your car right now and see what you have collected in your car?
I have about 16 years of show logs in the back of my car that I put in my trunk after we moved from the Clevelander. And my wife, who said you can't take this 3-year-old out at midnight, also said you cannot bring those show logs into this house.
Billy, were you trying, in all sincerity, because I know you don't do the syrup very much around here, but when they won a championship, were you trying to give your daughter, who is still in some formative years that is unlikely to remember a championship celebration, some of the things in your childhood that made you a Marlins fan because you're trying to pass them down to her actively?
I don't know that I'm pass the Panthers down, you know what I mean? But I would say this, say they win a championship. I thought about the Boy Meets World episode, you know, when Corey's dad... Huh?
Oh.
Which one?
With Vader.
No, that was a good episode, though.
File.
Yeah. I was thinking of the episode where Corey's dad woke him up to watch a Phillies no-hitter. Oh, yeah. And it was a formative thing for him. And it was like, wow, Corey, are you going to, whatever Corey's dad's name is, Corey's dad, as far as I'm concerned, you're going to wake him up for this? Like, he has school tomorrow. I was like, there's a no-hitter.
No-hitters every week.
Like, well, now there is. But back in the time of Boy Meets World, that was a special thing that we cherished. And I said, you know what? This could be my Corey's no-hitter with my daughter. But she had no idea what was going on.
Alan Matthews.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Girl Meets World?
I didn't. I mean...
You know that's Sabrina Carpenter, the girl with the espresso song?
Really?
Yeah.
I've been meaning to catch up on Girl
That's a
Meets
catchy
World.
little ditty.
Yeah.
Song of the summer, they're saying.
A 3-year-old at midnight doesn't seem like...
She's 2 years away from writing letters to Sidney Crosby.
My Abu was my dad was watching Juliet, and Juliet watched the entire game, and she recognized what was going on.
Yeah.
It was in that moment that I was like, well, now I wish she was here if she knew what was going on.
Huh.
How did your decision get made at the last minute after spending too much money on Game 5 to get to Game 7?
I asked him earlier in the day if he was going.
Yeah,
he said he wasn't
said
going.
No.
But how many Game 7 opportunities you going to get?
No, but he said he couldn't afford it.
I understand
I was priced out. I was priced out.
Right.
But then I opened up the Game Time app, folks.
Oh, boy.
And I saw prices. They call them flash deals. And it was on the shoot one side, but it was also about $500 cheaper than the price that I paid for Game 5. And Game 5, I got to tell you, one of the worst purchases I've ever made in my entire life. There's no coming back.
Oh, you thought they were going to win that third period, though. You thought.
Just a terrible buy. But I checked the Game Time app, and I saw a price that worked for my budget. I don't really know how I'm going to pay for it yet, but I'll worry about that later. And if you're like me and you have an opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see the biggest hockey game of all time, why don't you download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code DAN. For $20 off your first purchase, terms apply, last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. There is no more loyal customer of Game Time than I am. They must love me.
I just got a text from my friend saying, Chucky just poured beer into my mouth from the cup from the balcony. Wow. This is heaven.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe let's get your friend to zoom in, and because we can't get any correspondence there or working technology, so let's just dial somebody in the street who's actually near doing the job we need done. Roy was slurring through all of his reports last night. Roy can't handle his liquor. We're now.
Is that true? That's a known thing.
He drank a lot of liquor last
Big
night.
lush this Roy.
Stugotz, I am now clear on the fact that Roy cannot handle his liquor. He does not know how to drink an appropriate amount that makes him not slur. Like, am I wrong about this?
But it was Game 7.
No, but it's not. It's just liquor,
you're right.
though. No,
yes.
but Stugotz, it doesn't have to be Game 7. Once he starts with the drinking, he doesn't have control of how much to drink. He doesn't have a governor.
Let's play the opening line of this video here.
All right, we have made it from Amarin Pecorino.
Oh, wow. Jesus, Roy.
He doesn't know how to do it. He does not know how to drink.
I'm so happy for this guy.
He fancies himself a
It's a
drinker.
great start to the video. One more time.
We've made it from Amarin Pecorino to the infield, which is a couple blocks down.
We celebrate championship.
We are going to celebrate a Stanley Cup championship.
There are some marbles in that mouth.
That bar looks like it's great if you're drunk.
Chris, what did you get into last night? How much have you slept?
I got home at 3 a.m. I went to the quarterdeck. right by the arena, and it was a lot more exciting than the bar Roy was at. It was great. The place was packed. It was exciting. There were sad Oiler fans. I got to point and laugh at. I saw, by the way, and I knew we were winning this game. I saw an Oiler fan puking in the parking lot before the game, and I'm telling you, it changed my entire mood.
That's right.
I was feeling down. I was just like, I'm trying to talk myself into being excited for this game. I saw an Oilers fan puke because they were feeling themselves. These Oilers fans before the game were too excited.
Like they packed Yard House at Sawgrass.
Exactly.
Oh my God, look at all the Oiler fans here. How about it's 2 p.m. in the afternoon? We have jobs. We didn't fly here to go to the game. Of course it's all Oiler fans across the street.
They care about hockey.
But I'm telling you, that switched my mood. I told the group chat, I was like, guys, I think we got this. I just saw an Oilers fan puke, and I heckled him like I was in my early 20s. I was like, you loser! It was great.
You guys don't really have the right, given how you were behaving the first 6 hours before the game. You looked like you were going to puke. You and Mike both looked like you were going to puke. I don't believe that you got there and like, that guy's throwing up in the parking lot. That means we're going to win.
No, but when you feel like you're going to puke and you see someone else puke, Dan, then your feeling for puking, it goes away. I'm telling you, that's how it works.
Stugotz, you weren't here. Yesterday was me and Renee Montgomery keeping everything on track.
Well,
like,
good.
no one else thought that the Panthers had a shot except me and Renee.
That's a terrible job by you guys. You should be ashamed of yourselves, all of you.
No, you would have been
Seriously.
embarrassed.
Appreciate it. It means a lot coming from you guys.
You had no
It
faith in
really
your
cuts me
team.
down to the bone. Let me tell you.
We did what we had to do for the Panthers to win. We had the right attitude. We had the attitude we needed to have.
Pulling every lever,
Yeah.
buddy. Every lever.
You're going to take credit now.
Superstition masterclass.
Yeah, okay. All right. You're going to take credit for
I did what I did.
All right.
I controlled what I could control to win that cup. I brought it home.
You should be embarrassed in general.
Oh, I was nervous before Game 7 in which my team had
No,
lost
you
3
said
straight.
they were going to lose. You said they were gonna lose.
buddy.
Yeah, you
I
reverse
gotta,
jinxed it. Yeah,
because
you
I
did.
gotta. You gotta pull every lever
that's true.
possible.
I sent him a
reverse
text
jinx,
in the middle of the day. I said, we're going to do this tonight, right? And he texts me back, goes, no evidence of that.
No evidence.
Terrible
Zero.
job.
That was one of the
Yeah,
levers.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Greg
every
Cote,
lever.
yes,
you, Mike.
yes, of course. Thank you. We should all be chanting, thank you, Mike, for your profound belief.
Oh, we got to
in this
thank the guy that
team.
gave Mike the internship, if you
yeah.
remember that story.
My
If not, this show wouldn't have
profound
happened.
belief as opposed to your guys' profound belief.
I mean, mine was clear.
And performative.
Mine never changed. Never once changed. I wasn't flopping around like a dead fish on a boat.
Yeah, I was. It meant that much to me. I definitely did.
My life.
Yeah.
You're right about Game 7.
And I just wanted.
Yeah, they're
I
kinda
saw.
great.
I was so envious. I was so envious of.
You always want those.
I said you're right.
You always
I
want
mean-
the Game 7.
He
yeah.
owns that take.
I was envious of the vibes that the Oilers fans brought into that game, and people were talking nonsense to me, and I couldn't muster up a comeback or anything like that. But I just wanted, if anything happens in this game, you feel how I feel right now. You feel that anger. You feel that despair. You feel like, oh my God, we're this close and it's not going to happen. I just wanted them to make them feel that. Yeah. And they felt it. And then they choked the game away. And they lost to a team that didn't play particularly well offensively
They didn't
in the
choke it away.
biggest
We
game.
took that shit. What do you mean they choked it away?
No. I'm saying like the vice-like grip that we had on that game. Like literally choked the life out of that game.
Miami
That's what I
vice.
mean.
It was interesting to see the Panthers take the state and the style from Tampa. Take all of it.
You see Tampa Bay congratulated us, Dan? I don't know how I feel about that.
I'll tell you how I feel. I don't need your congratulations. You're not on my team. Get out of here. Send you home again next year.
Up
End your
yours.
season every year, I hope.
At Tampa Bay Lightning, up yours.
I'll be damned if you ever catch me congratulating them.
Never.
What kind of world are we living in?
Greg Cote has returned after his victory parade. How was it, Greg? I thought you were going to join us from McDonald's. I don't know what happened.
I don't either. I'm not in charge. That's above my pay grade. The victory, I don't know what it looked like in the video, but the crowds were really gathering.
We felt it. Yeah.
They were 3 or 4 deep on the side of the road. I worried that it was going to be a traffic hazard for a bit, but we got through it. But the response was great. I mean, nobody celebrates the championship of a team from Sunrise like downtown Miami.
Congratulations.
So it was just great.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was great. Yeah, thank you. And by the way, you'll remember, you can roll the tape if you want. I guarantee last night's win. Okay, I guaranteed it. All of the
You
real.
can't take credit for it. Mike's already taken credit
Well,
for it. You can't have any of the credit.
I mean,
Mike's already
I
taken all
get
credit.
the ultimate credit because I muted their best.
You don't
player.
get any of the credit because
Yes.
Mike's got all the credit.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's Mike. You know.
Folks, the time has come for some new golf clubs, and that means one thing. Heading over to my local PXG store for a fitting. They make the best golf clubs, period. Roy, hockey season's almost over. You're going to be out of the barn, and you're going to be out on the golf course with me. You need new clubs.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have your PXG fitting coming up soon. I did mine. I am telling you, it is the most efficient process. I went to the Fort Lauderdale location. They have them all over. It is efficient. You're in and out in an hour. You're swinging clubs. They're assessing you. Next thing you know, weeks later, boom. New clubs, irons, woods, putters. I'm telling you, it's the whole 9 yards. Is that a golf phrase? What, whole 9 yards. That's a football phrase.
That's like, what, you're chipping 9 yards?
It's the whole
into green?
10-foot putt. PXG does it better than anybody else. It's knocked 4 to 5 strokes off my game within the first month, and it's just a game changer. PXG fitters are highly trained, incredibly experienced, and have a deep understanding of how to optimize your clubs to get the most out of your swing. Schedule your fitting today, and for a limited time, you can save up to 20% on your entire order, guys. That's 20% off your entire order. Head over to pxg.com/Dan. That's pxg.com/Dan to save up to 20% on your entire order. pxg.com/Dan. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Dan Le Batard.
There is no question, Dan Le Batard show included, anybody else, that this guy is the best player on the planet. Whether he wins the Stanley Cup or the Conn Smythe this year, there is no question about it.
Stugotz.
Overrated? Wait, did someone say overrated? What's going on? Dan Le Batard, how you doing? Are we living in an altered world or what?
Oh, my goodness.
This is the Dan Le Batard show with the Stugotz.
Stanley Cup champion. It says it on the board. The cup's over there somewhere. It says it all around the ribbon board. The final score, 2-1. The Florida Panthers won it in a style that they have mastered all season.
You said it. You said it. What was it? What did they do?
Shut down City in the third period. They completely shut this team down in the third period. A rat was just thrown at me. We're here with Kevin Sinland, and you guys have played your asses off all playoffs. You made it to 7 games here in the Stanley Cup Finals. Give us your feelings right now.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's hard to describe. It's been a long journey, but we're here now, and we're really going to enjoy it.
That was the same. We're with Panthers captain Aleksander Barkov. You just raised the Stanley Cup. Can you believe that?
I guess we're champions, right?
I guess so. Give us your feelings. How you feel right now?
Unbelievable. Well, you dream about this moment your whole life since you were born. When you get your first skates on and first time you touch the stick, you dream about this. And to be able to do it with this organization, this team, and here in front of our own fans, it's unbelievable feeling.
Makes the last couple weeks a little bit more worth it that you got to celebrate at home and everything you went through. It kind of makes everything that much better now, right?
Yeah, I mean, with this team, we never find the easy way to do it. So, well, it took us to Game 7 to do it, and we're probably played our best game in Game 7.
This is amazing, man. I'm proud of you as a Panthers fan. I'm proud of you as a member of the media. I'm so happy to see that you actually got to do this. So congratulations to you, Alexander. We're here with Jeremy Taché of Bally Sports Florida. They just won a Stanley Cup, Jeremy.
He just won the Stanley Cup. This is the coolest thing that's ever happened. We're on the ice. We're standing on the ice.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's happening. It's all happening.
It's all happening. This is you got the good seat up there in the press box, whoever it is, Mike. So you took my seat, goddammit.
I did. I took Roy's seat for the entirety of this playoff run. And I would like to say I should probably sit in that seat for every playoff run for the rest of our lives. Agreed. Based off the way that this went, I apologize, but you've got to sit auxiliary. I sit there because the Panthers won the fucking Stanley Cup.
Yeah, baby.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Are you saying that this Stanley Cup is all because of you?
I would like to take my place where the credit is due. After Greg, after Roy, but above some others, and just saying, go Ice Cats.
Thank you. We got Stephen Lawrence and Anthony Stolarz, everybody. You boys just won the Stanley Cup. How you feel?
There's no real words for it right now. So just trying to enjoy the moment. It's been a long time, long season for us. We grinded, we earned this. We didn't deserve it. We earned it every step of the way, and it wasn't easy at times, but here we are.
How you feeling, Anthony? Pretty damn good right now. It's such a surreal moment just to be able to share it with everybody on the team, guys that work so hard during the year, training camp, regular season, and 25 games of playoffs or whatever it was. So it's been a long year, and just to see all that hard work pay off, it's all worth it.
Just want to say congrats, fellas, from one goalie to another, from a guy to another guy. I don't know what to say. I'm just fucking pumped right now. Yeah, baby. What's happening for you guys? No. Fucking A.
Boys, congratulations. We're here with Stanley C. Panther, the Florida Panthers. This is a championship mascot. How you feel right now, Stanley?
Yes.
We're with Roberto Luongo, and you have finally got yourself a Stanley Cup ring coming your way.
How's it feel?
Pretty good, man. Feels pretty good.
The Luongo name is going on the cup.
I know. It's honestly, it's so surreal. That's what's going on right now. I mean, since the second I came on the ice and just seeing the boys with the cup, it's everything I would imagine and more. So I'm so proud of these guys. They worked so hard all year from the first day of training camp, after a long season the year before.
Yep. Yeah.
They put in the work, and you could tell this year going into the playoffs that it was a different vibe around the team.
I think the added motivation tonight was from you drumming.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen,
that was the best drumming effort of the playoffs. You were so into it. I got jacked up. Way the hell up there.
Yeah, I had a lot of emotions over the last 10 days. I needed to let out. So I wanted to make sure that I got it all out so that I could go relax in the suite and watch the game.
Since you've taken over the franchise, you made this a first-class organization, and you got yourself a new practice facility and everything. Now you're a Stanley Cup champion. How do you feel?
I feel very happy for the fans we're looking at. I feel very happy for South Florida. I feel very, very happy for the community. I feel blessed, truly blessed.
Yeah.
Great. Our organization, it's character-based, family-based. I mean, they just, I feel humbled. I feel more humility tonight than I can express, really. That's how I feel.
It's got to feel good, kind of building on what you just said, knowing that you guys did it the right way.
We did it the right way.
Family hires, you brought in Matty Caldwell. You took an extended period to hire Billy.
Yep.
You looked for Paul, just all the right moves. So it's got to feel good to know that, like, you guys took your time, you did it right, and now look at what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, we're South Florida, champions forever, Stanley Cup never leaves. So South Florida, God bless the fans, God bless the people, God bless the community, and thank you.
Well, we've interviewed as many people as we could, and
soaked it up.
Yeah, we soaked it up. It's a joyous occasion here at ice level here at Amerant Bank Arena as the Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup, David.
Yeah, I am blown away. It's just kind of starting to sink in. Looking around all the championship banner. I mean, we've been trying to soak it in. As you can see, we're like the last ones here. We don't want to leave. Like, I'm fine sleeping here. Like, this is so cool.
We're going to get the fans' reaction at the infield.
Oh, yeah, we got to go to the bar.
Yeah, we got to go to the bar, and we're going to have drinks. But before we leave the ice tonight, we do have a very special message for a certain individual who renounced his fanship of the Florida Panthers. That is Chris Runningham, who decided to become a New York Rangers fan, who promptly got vanquished during the Eastern Conference Final.
Yeah.
So, in closing, as we leave the ice here at Amerant Bank Arena, to you, Chris Runningham, you can go f*** yourself.
Look, as a small business, we don't get to clock out, ever. We're always on, nights, weekends, holidays. So, when it came time to hire someone, we couldn't waste time. We needed help. Real help. Not Stugotz knows a guy help. We used LinkedIn Jobs. And we'll be honest, we didn't expect it to be that easy. We posted the job for free. LinkedIn basically held our hand and wrote the description for us. Next thing you know, candidates, qualified ones, not resumes written in crayon, real people who want to work. Imagine that. LinkedIn gives you all the tools, deep insights, easy filtering, one place to manage everything. We even threw the little hashtag hiring frame on our profile picture, doubled the number of applicants. Now we're part of that 72% of small businesses that say LinkedIn helps them find high quality candidates. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/DLS. That's linkedin.com/DLS to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Folks, the time has come for some new golf clubs, and that means one thing. Heading over to my local PXG store for a fitting. They make the best golf clubs, period. Roy, hockey season's almost over. You're going to be out of the barn, and you're going to be out on the golf course with me. You need new clubs.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have your PXG fitting coming up soon. I did mine. I am telling you, it is the most efficient process. I went to the Fort Lauderdale location. They have them all over. It is efficient. You're in and out in an hour. You're swinging clubs. They're assessing you. Next thing you know, weeks later, boom, new clubs, irons, woods, putters. I'm telling you, it's the whole 9 yards. Is that a golf phrase? Whole 9 yards. That's a football phrase.
That's like, what, you're chipping 9 yards?
It's the whole 10-foot putt. PXG does it better than anybody else. It's knocked 4 to 5 strokes off my game within the first month, and it's just a game changer. PXG fitters are highly trained, incredibly experienced, and have a deep understanding of how to optimize your clubs to get the most out of your swing. Schedule your fitting today, and for a limited time, you can save up to 20% on your entire order, guys. That's 20% off your entire order. Head over to pxg.com/Dan. That's pxg.com/Dan to save up to 20% on your entire order. pxg.com/Dan. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Howdy, folks. It's Mike Ryan. Now, if you've been listening to the show a lot lately, you've heard so much playoff talk. Playoff hoops. Down here in South Florida, we're especially enamored with playoff hockey. It's not just limited to the playoffs. Motorsports, tennis, golf. It's truly one of the best times in the sporting calendar. And with the weather outside warming up, it's just perfect to hop in a pool, maybe grill up some food, but most certainly crack open some Miller Lights. I just described a pretty perfect day, didn't I? And it culminates with Miller time. There's something about a perfect grilling day. The sun's out, friends show up, and that first sip of Miller Lite just hits different. I've been stocking up the cooler with it for years. This year, Miller Lite turns 50. That is 5 decades of cookouts, laughs, and ice-cold moments that never miss. And if you've listened to the show for its 20-year existence, you know this to be true. Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.